As you can see in the video, we bought new pieces for the track tensioner because the old ones were all roached out. The only thing we saved was the inner piston from the old one and the backing retainer plate for the recoil spring itself. The only challenging part of rebuilding one of these adjusters is compressing the big recoil spring and getting it into the track frame. To do this, I wanted to make up my own jig with a cage and suck in the spring with heavy awl thread. But some naysayers in my family were all concerned that I was going to take my own head off trying to do that.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
So I figured I'd call the Foly Cat dealer in Hamilton to see if they could press it together for me and how much they would charge to do it. I called the dealer in Hamilton, New Jersey, and the girl on the phone said that they don't have the press for the track tensioners anymore, or the recoil springs, and that I would have to call the Ben Salem cat dealer in Pennsylvania because they're the only ones who've had the press now. Well, I call the Foly Cat dealer in Ben Salem and tell them what I have, and that it's all new parts. I just need it pressed together and how much it would cost. So he asked me for the model and serial number of the machine, and I told him that was an older machine from 1962, a 933F Traxcavator. Now, we ordered fan belts for this machine last year, and the cat dealer in Hamilton, they had to look up in the microfilm to find the fan belt part numbers. So I told this guy when I called him, when he asked for the serial number and machine, and what machine it was, I'm like, you're probably going to have to look it up in the microfilms. It's not going to be in your computer system. So I gave him the serial number anyway, and of course he goes to look it up. And he's like, oh, I can't find it in here. Did you give me the right serial number? I'm like, yes. He's like, oh, well, I need the serial number off the side of the engine, which I gave him. Then he's like, oh, well, I need a serial number off the transmission, which was the same. So he was still trying to look it up in the computer system. And like I said, I already have all the parts for this adjuster. I just want it pressed together. And I told him that a couple times. And he was just determined to look up the machine because he wanted the specs on the recoil spring, which I understand to a certain extent. But I have all the measurements for it, you know, how long it is, how much it needs to be compressed, how thick the coils are on it and everything. Yeah, but my measurements weren't good enough for him, so it basically got me nowhere with him. Once again, he went back and forth about the serial number a couple more times, and that was about it. So I was just at a loss, and then he's like, oh, is there anything else I can help you with today? And I'm like, oh, no, you did enough already, and that was that. Yeah, they couldn't give me an answer on whether they compressed them still or how much it would cost. So he just seemed like he didn't want to be bothered with an older machine, and he was too lazy to look up, to actually spend the time to look it up, is why I got out of it. So I ended up finding a local guy that does heavy equipment repair. He had all types of stuff tore apart in his yard. I went to him and asked if he could press it together. He looked at it, said yes, we agreed on a price, and he pressed it together. Now this guy put it in a stand-up shop press. For safety, he wrapped it in ratchet straps and compressed it down and put the nut on it. And there it is. Seal's good.
It's an air cushion.
I heard someone coming out of it.
It's probably coming out where the bolt goes through. I guess I should have put that in last.
Yeah.
Shooting that out at me.
Well, slowly with some pressure on it to go down.
We can manage that. Alright.
Slowly.
Oh, I gotta finish running that. Well, Captain,
Almost there.